Hey, what's up? Today I'm gonna talk about how to receive or take advice, and not really how to, but just kind of like the pitfalls of taking advice, which seems like an all positive thing. Like someone gives you advice, if it's good advice, then you know. Um, but when people give you advice, it's only really true under like a specific context. There's a unique context in which this advice works, and your ability to see that wider context is what makes the advice actually good or bad. If you if you can't really see that context, you're likely to kind of fuck it up. And and another thing is like advice is just kind of information. At the end of the day, how you interpret it is the determining factor. Like someone could say something that's good, and the way you understand it is different, and you use it in a bad way. So just a simple example is like someone says, "Oh, never give up, don't give up." That's good. It's a good advice. Don't give up, but it's only good if you don't take that so black and white that you don't give up on the things you should give up. It's like you need the context of don't don't give up um with the things that are valid to not give up with. If you're trying to do something that has a very very low chance of happening, and you don't get much value from this thing happening, like if you're like, I want to grow wings, and that's not that important to you in the first place. There's not much return on investment on that, and it's low probability you're gonna ever be able to do that because you just don't know how to do that. It's like, and then you're like, but the advice of don't give up, I just gotta do it without any wider context. Let me just never give up on this thing. It's like that's dumb, and that's where that's bad. So there's like, and whenever people give advice, there's always like that implicit context within it. It's very hard to give advice and then lay out every single context about this advice. So you'll never get that. So it's on you as the receiver to interpret that advice. um and yeah, there's a lot of, and I think a lot of, you know say gurus, or like, very successful people, they'll have very good advice, but I notice a lot of the way that people interpret the advice is what makes it either not work or makes it toxic. And a lot of times when people get to a certain plateau of whatever they're doing, it's just how the brain works naturally. You've how do I say this? You've condensed that advice, has the condensed experience that throughout all the years, and with that condensed experience, you can't unpackage that when you give the advice. So a lot of these successful people, when it's like they say work hard, um there's also the context of knowing, working smart, knowing what's worth working hard for and what's not working hard for, you know not spreading yourself thin like it's, you know how to prioritize things. So when they say work hard, there's certain assumptions and there's certain things that if you ignore, it just turns the advice toxic, because then it's like, there's like this, you work hard to the point that you're not really happy anymore and things like that. You get into all sorts of pitfalls. So yeah, how to take advice is be very mindful of how you're receiving that advice, and take your time to interpret what it really means before you kind of just take things at face value, because it's more than likely you're, whatever they mean by it, you're just taking it the way you think. So always check on your mindset. That's why mindset management is really good. It's just being mindful of that. Yeah.